Welcome to the district. I'm your Fulton County Commissioner of District 4, Natalie Hall. The district is the place to keep you updated, informed, and inspired regarding everything Fulton County District 4. Immediately following this short break, we will have an exciting conversation with Dr. Scott Hughes, Executive Director of Trinity Community Ministries, who is doing amazing work in the community to reduce homelessness in Fulton County. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back to the district. I'm your Fulton County Commissioner of District 4, Natalie Hall. Joining us today is Dr. Scott Hughes. Dr. Scott Hughes is a former top performer at Emory Healthcare, a director of organizational development, and minister with multiple certifications and over 2 decades of human services work and leadership experience. He earned his doctorate in business administration from Walden University, and his unique executive style will ensure impact occurs because of his extraordinary ability to instruct, inspire, and lead by example. Currently, Dr. Hughes is the executive director of Trinity Community Ministries, a nonprofit organization whose mission is to empower men experiencing homelessness and substance abuse disorders to reclaim their lives and return to their families and communities as mentors and leaders. Dr. Hughes, thank you for joining us on the district.
Thank you very much for having me.
And how are you?
I am excellent. It is a beautiful day and it's great to be in front of your audience. I really appreciate having the opportunity to tell our story, to talk about why this is so important to me and why this is a passion that I have. It's not often that you get in front of a lot of people who really want to understand this community and what it is we do. So I appreciate the opportunity very much.
Well, tell us a bit about Trinity Community Ministries and the population it serves in Atlanta.
Well, Trinity Community Ministry sits in the heart of the Sweet Auburn district. I can reach out of my window and touch I-75. We're right in the middle of that historic district. The population that it serves is pretty unique. If you're familiar with Atlanta at all, then you know the Sweet Auburn district is almost a city within a city. It has its own culture. It has a lot of historical elements to it. We're just down the street from the King Center. We're just down the street from Big Bethel AME Church. The actual building that we sit in is the historic Handley Funeral Home, where Dr. King's body was displayed after he was assassinated. About 20 years ago, this was retrofitted to be a residential recovery shelter with 36 beds. And our doors are open to the men of this community who find themselves experiencing homelessness or substance abuse disorders. So we try to bring men in there that are at the intersection of homelessness and substance abuse disorders. You don't have to drive very far, Commissioner Hall, to see the plight of the homeless in the downtown Atlanta area. And what we want to do as an organization, and we've been doing it for about 20 years, is create a safe haven for these men to go where they can learn to be men again, learn to be contributing members of society, learn to be good fathers again, and be able to get back to their families and get back to their communities, and not go back in a way that they continue to be a resource drain on communities, but that they can add resources to the community. You know as well as I do that there are a lot of people that are just one paycheck away from finding themselves in this predicament. And what we do is take them however they are, the lost, the left out, the least. When they come in the door, we're going to help them. They may not stay with Trinity Community Ministries, but if they come through our door, we're going to help them. We're going to find a way to help them either on our site or with one of our partner organizations. That's the gist of what we do. We've been at it for about 20 years. We started in the basement of a church Trinity United Methodist Church. And over time, the need grew, so the resources had to grow. And we partnered with Big Bethel AME Church to secure this facility, and we've been at it ever since, taking men from where they are to returning them to a self-sustaining life. Watching a man reclaim his life is nothing short of magical, and that's where my heart lies. So that's the work that I do, and that's why I do it here.
Well, you said a lot, but what I
Yeah.
love is that you said, you're lifting people up, you're lifting these men up and putting them back into society in a way that they can be successful. And that is truly hard work. So what sets Trinity Community Ministries apart from other recovery shelters in Atlanta?
Well, a lot of recovery shelters in Atlanta are, excuse the phrase, but three hots and a cot. They come in, they're out of the elements for a little while, they get some food in their bellies, and then they're ushered back out into the street to begin today the same way they spent yesterday. When you come into Trinity Community Ministries, it is an up to 2 year program where you'll come in and you will start from the basics in terms of learning how to live again, character development, life skills, relapse prevention. You'll attend AA meetings. We do therapeutic community. We do motivational interviewing. We use cognitive behavioral therapy. We use things that are evidence based in order to see some progress in the men. If you come into our shelter, you should not leave the same way you came. If we just get 1% better every day, then we've done something. That's our goal, is to make sure that the men leave here better than they came. Every story is not a success story. I'm not here to tell you the dog and pony show that a lot of people will tell you. Addiction is hard. Being homeless is hard. And if people got used to being homeless and learn how to think in survival mode and the stinking thinking that comes with addiction, then we are helping them unlearn that and then trying to unpack the potential that they always had in them anyway, so that when they leave here, they have the confidence to not go down the road they've been down before, to assume the responsibilities it takes to be a husband, a father, a man in the community, and to be a leader and a mentor. They have a story to tell that people won't listen to that story from me. I'm wearing a suit and tie, and people call me doctor, but I have lived experience too. I have lived experience too. I've been where they are. However, sometimes people may need to hear from somebody that's fresh out of it or even still in it. And we leverage that lived experience here. We're a little different than other shelters. I spent 3 years working at Atlanta Mission, where I was the director of organization development and training. And I trained their leaders there for 3 years. And they have a little bit different model that's more of a, hey, just come in, spend the night, you go back out the way you are. Uh, I just I believe that instead of feeding a man fish, we should teach a man to fish, and I think we do that very well here.
Yes, you're literally making them whole again. You're restoring what was lost, not only materialistic, not only as far as housing, but you're restoring what was lost in them. And that's a beautiful thing. And so, what are some of the biggest challenges facing residential recovery shelters in Atlanta today?
We are running into mental behavioral health issues like we never have before. We're running into mental behavioral health issues compounded by the fact that a lot of the men that are coming in are between the ages of 18 and 25 years old. There is a different level of understanding. There's a different level of hostility. There's a different level of a different way they learn, a different way they absorb information. And you couple that with mental behavioral health or trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, a lot of what they're going through. And it's difficult to have the bandwidth to deal with some of the very intense, very real, very valid issues that men are coming in with. So we have to partner with organizations like PAD, the Police Alternative Diversion Program, or 311. And I really, it breaks my heart when I know I have to go in that direction, because that's a a road that it is exhausting to go down and almost impossible to come back from. So those two things, funding and then mental behavioral health in a younger population of men experiencing homelessness.
Yes, well, I do want to say for our listening audience and viewers that Fulton County does provide grant funding for those nonprofits that try to provide homelessness services. And, we try to offer a number of different grants in various areas, especially in economic stability and poverty as well. And you sound like your organization is addressing all of that. I love that you spoke about the services and programs that you provide to the men to restore them. And also mental and behavioral health. That is an area that the county also has programs and services in. So, partnerships are very important. And if there's anything that we can do to enhance what you're doing and help, we are here for you. And can you share a success story of someone who found recovery through the Trinity Community Ministries?
Absolutely. But first, let me say this. I've talked to just about every commissioner and every council person in the city of Atlanta, and you were the first person to bring your entire team together, almost like a triage unit, to meet with us and to listen to us and to become a resource for us in a million different directions. And I've had people offer that, but it never happened. And not only that, but your team has followed up. I've heard from them since then, multiple times, setting up the meetings, making the connections. Those are the types of things that just don't happen. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving your attention and your time to this matter. That's the only way we're going to get out of this. It's just going to get worse if we don't have that type of collaboration. So thank you for that. As far as the success story goes, we have positive transitions every day. We're getting ready to do a graduation on June 8th. You're invited to the graduation, by the way. But these are for men who have made it through our program. They've saved the requisite amount of money. They've gotten a job that pays a living wage, and they found a place to live that is a permanent, independent living. And we assist with all of that, but we only build half a bridge. They have to build a half a bridge to meet us there. We're not going to work harder on your sobriety and your homelessness than you are, but we're going to help you. We have several men. Just recently, we've had 3 positive transitions in the last 2 weeks. One that I can think of, one of my favorite is I got a call from a real estate agent that said, "Hey, your client," and he gave his name. He took the savings that he saved in your program, and he's getting a mortgage for a house. He's buying his own home. And that just helps you understand that not everybody that comes through here has these things that you just imagine about them when you see them on the street. They might have gone through an illness or a divorce or a car accident or a job loss and found themselves in a survival situation. And you see them out on the street corner and they're talking to themselves, and you're thinking this person they're crazy, or you use that word kind of loosely. But imagine, Commissioner Hall, if nobody said your name in a year, if nobody looked you in the eye in a year, if nobody even touched your shoulder or said something kind to you in a year, you would talk to yourself too after a while. We're not far from where you see these people, but when you see the success story, after somebody's been given a timeout, a place to get their mind together, a place where you can close a door to get quiet, that doesn't happen on the street. A place when you can deal with your demons that cause you to turn to drugs in the first place. A therapeutic community where everybody knows what's going on and talks to you in a way that builds you up and not tears you down, or doesn't go back to the negative. It talks about the positive and what are we going to do going forward. And then you see that person leave this place, and now they're making decisions as a man, as a father. They're back with their family. Other people are looking to them, and you're getting ready to buy a house. You went from homeless to a homeowner. That is the ultimate success story. And when I see them, they come back. All of our alumni have carte blanche to come in here anytime they want. They can talk to the guys, whatever it is. And they come through the door and they're very proud of themselves. And I see that and I'm grateful for the pride in that. But when they bring their son that's 11 years old and he's smiling and he's daddy, he's this, he's that, that that's what it is for me right there. That makes it all worth it. And we see those types of things over and over again. We have fathers and sons that are here. We have generational people that were dealing with generational substance use disorders. And we're breaking that curse that no matter what, when they leave here, that won't continue. So you can tell I'll get a little bit passionate. I'll start leaning up in my chair. But I just think that it's important when I look at all the ills that our community is facing right now, how much better off we would be as a community if men were in their rightful position and place and condition in the homes and in the communities. That's my spiel. I'm a preacher, so I'll go on for 20, 30 minutes if you let me, but I'm going to stop right there.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And speaking of community, how does Trinity Community Ministries work with the Atlanta community to support long-term recovery for its residents?
So we do that just very succinctly by partnering with other organizations that don't do exactly what we do. We try to avoid redundancy where, we're doing exactly what the shelter down the street is doing, but being a good collaborative partner where, hey, this opportunity came our way. It's not really right for us, but I think it'd be great for you. So let me turn that over to you. Not only that, but other parts of the community, especially in Sweet Auburn, it's such a close-knit community. We'll have other initiatives going on. And we'd like to make sure that we show up well for them too. Our guys show up well to community service projects or to festivals and different things like that, or we'll participate or sell a product or do a service while it's going on. We try to make sure that we're a complete partner in the community, not just taking from the community, but also giving back to the community. I believe it's one of the only ways that we're going to survive as a people.
That is absolutely correct. I love how it's like I always explain it to people, like creating a chain link fence. You're only as strong as every single link in that fence. So if you are pulling in people who cover the weak areas that you have, now you're building a very strong fence. It's going to protect everybody. It's going to cover every aspect of what needs to take place. That is awesome, Dr. Hughes. And thank you for taking time with us to share the impactful work being done at Trinity Community Ministries. Let's take a break, and when we return, we will continue our discussion on the Trinity Community Ministries with Dr. Scott Hughes. Welcome back to the district. I'm your Fulton County Commissioner of District 4, Natalie Hall. If you're just joining us, we're having a robust conversation about Trinity Community Ministries, a nonprofit organization whose mission is to empower men experiencing homelessness and substance use disorders to reclaim their lives and return to their families and communities as mentors and leaders. We previously discussed Trinity Community Ministries' involvement in the community, as well as challenges and success stories Trinity Community Ministries has met along the way. We're back with Dr. Scott Hughes, Executive Director of Trinity Community Ministries. Welcome back, Dr. Hughes.
Thank you. Good to be back.
There can be a lot of misconceptions about recovery shelters. How can we as a community better understand the vital roles shelters play?
One of the key things that I would ask your viewers to keep in mind whenever they think about a shelter is just keep in mind that person in their family that's struggling in that way. Usually there is one. And see those people as that person. They are people. And again, we don't understand necessarily what might have gotten them to this situation, but the very heart of a person is what we'd like for you to focus on. And everybody has their issues. Nobody would like to have their issues on full display on the on ramp of a freeway every other day, but imagine what the mindset must be like in order for that to happen. That's number one. Number two is we do the best we can with what we have. We are good stewards of, we have to make a dollar out of 15 cents all the time. We run a full facility and it's just like your home. You know, you have to pay the bills. You have to make sure the lights are on. I have to make sure that the men eat 3 square meals a day, that they have activities to do, and that they're getting quality therapy, not just somebody experimenting on their college project, but quality therapy that'll actually advance their cause and move the needle. A lot of times people think that this is a easy thing to do, and it's not. But I would invite you in. I would invite you to Trinity. Come on by, see what we do, and if there's something that you feel like you could do to contribute, we'd be happy to have you. We would be happy to have you. But there are a lot of misconceptions. The most prevalent one is that these people are inhuman or they're experiencing some type of mental behavior when really they're people just like you and I that had too many rainy days. Too many
Yes.
rainy days. Yeah.
So looking ahead, what are your hopes and visions for the future of Trinity Community Ministries and its impact on Atlanta?
It is very simply to help people. We're in the people business. I want to always have our doors open for somebody that is experiencing any kind of homelessness or substance abuse and any kind of challenge. I want to be a go-to resource for people like you, for people like the county, for people on the city level, for the churches that have those 3 or 4 people that are staying after service and we don't have anywhere to go. I want them to call Trinity first, and I want our doors to be open. And I want people to come in here and find a human environment where people are actually concerned with your comfort. They want to make sure that I don't just want to treat you very basic because that's all you deserve or you should be happy with anything. But I want to treat you like I would want to see my family member treated if they were struggling through an issue like this. That's my goal for the future, to make sure that we have that always available at 21 Leonard Tate Street in the Sweet Auburn community.
Well, that sounded very personal. What personally motivates you to lead this important organization? I hear your passion in your responses.
Um, about 20 years ago, after a divorce, I found myself living in my truck. And I remember getting kicked out of Wendy's bathroom because I was washing up and I was in there too long. And I'll never forget that. Never. And that's the passion that I bring to the people here. When that happened, I was a college graduate. You know, I had a decent job and just fell on a string of hard times. And I'll never forget them banging on that door, telling me to get out of there. I need to get out of there. And thinking to myself, you know, what now? I remember, this is going to be a little vivid, but I just remember my all my belongings out on the lawn after they emptied the house, and I had fish in a fish aquarium, and they were just laying in the grass dead. And I just remember thinking to myself, you know, I'm a relatively intelligent person. I know how to string resources together. I know how to think through some things. But I was young. I was probably doing things I shouldn't have been doing. A lot of, like I said, I have lived experiences with these guys. So I just wish I had somebody that I can go to that could tell me the truth. Trust me with the truth and tell me, hey, you should go left instead of right. Hey, you don't want to do that because of this. Hey, here, if you just do this with your money, here's where you can be in a little while. I had to do that through trial and error, a lot of bump in my head. If I have anything to say about it, the men that come through this door won't have to do that. I'm very candid, I'm very direct, and I'm gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. Here's what needs to happen. And I just feel like I can have an impact in that way. My style and my delivery is different because I'm a preacher and I love to use impact statements that leave you with a feeling, not just a thought. And I know what I want a person leaving the room feeling, thinking, and doing. And I employ that every time that I talk to one of these guys, but it comes out of a heart of being in that place before. I, I
All,
don't I don't regret that at all.
all right now, Dr. Hughes, you got us on here having some Oprah moments, crying and um,
I don't mind being emotional about it, but if I tell you, and I'm getting ready to be real candid, real quick, I remember the smell of not being able to take a shower for days, and I'll never forget that. I will never forget that. And as soon as I smell that smell, tears come to my eyes. So when a guy walks through the door, that's the smell that I smell, and I know where he is. I'll never forget that. That'll always be the fuel. That's a nuclear fuel that will never go away. And I'm going to use that and leverage that. That's what makes me not mind begging for money to help keep the lights on here. Because I just know, I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
Whew.
Ooh, yeah.
Well,
That's me.
Dr. Hughes,
Yeah.
for our listeners and viewers who are interested in helping, what volunteer opportunities are available at Trinity Community Ministries?
We have most prevalent, we have team dinners just about every night where organizations will come in and sit down with our guys and just break bread, right? Every time Jesus handled bread, it was the same way. He took it, he blessed it, he broke it, and he gave it. A lot of these guys are in the breaking phase, and that has to happen in order for them to get to where they can be in the giving phase. And that's what we do here. So if somebody wants to volunteer to team dinner, they're welcome to come by. If somebody has a particular skill set or expertise that they like to teach the guys, I love exposing them to things they wouldn't normally see. We definitely have that available. There are other opportunities available. You can monitor our website or just call me directly. You can call Trinity Community Ministries directly if there's something that you have an idea about. We'd love to entertain that and see if it aligns with our restoration model that we use to help our guys get back on their feet.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hughes. Is there anything specific you'd like the viewers to know, or what kind of support does Trinity Community Ministries most need right now?
We are always in, so men wear their clothes until the clothes are gone. That's just how men do, right? So we're always in need. A lot of times guys come in here in pretty bad shape, and we're going to clothe them, we're going to give them what they need. But things like toiletries, things like things that you would need in your house, the things that we need.
Thank you, Dr. Hughes, for taking the time with us to share this information about Trinity Community Ministries and how the residents of Fulton County can become involved in this amazing work that you're doing. And when we return, I will share my closing thoughts. Welcome back to the district. I'm your Fulton County Commissioner of District 4, Natalie Hall. It was a pleasure to have Dr. Scott Hughes, Executive Director of Trinity Community Ministries, on the district today. We discussed with Dr. Hughes the amazing work Trinity Community Ministries does and the programs and services they offer, as well as what needs to be done to help the organization carry out its mission. Annually, there are an estimated 3,000 individuals experiencing homelessness in the city of Atlanta. Trinity Community Ministries has been committed to providing effective, strategic, and innovative programs and services in their aim to respond to the needs of the homeless community and those affected by substance abuse. With the support of Trinity Community Ministries staff, volunteers, and collaborative partners, the Trinity House Big Bethel program empowers homeless men, many of them veterans, to complete a transformational process, giving them a place to call home, feel safe, recover, and ultimately rejoin the community. This is what I call hard work. Fulton County government will continue to keep you updated via website at fultoncountyga.gov, and please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at FulcoD4. That's FULCOD and the number 4. That is our show for today, and I am your Fulton County Commissioner of District 4, Natalie Hall. Thank you so much for watching the district.